fell apart. Oh my God.
Hurricane Melissa struck Jamaica with devastating force, arriving on the southwestern coast near New Hope as a record-breaking Category 5 storm. With sustained winds reaching 295 kilometers per hour, it was one of the most violent systems ever recorded in the Atlantic Basin. The approach was rapid and merciless. Within minutes, calm skies turned into a roar of wind, rain, and seawater. Houses trembled, trees snapped, and the island's familiar rhythm of life was replaced by the constant silence. St. Elizabeth, Jamaica's agricultural heartland, was the first to feel the full impact. Known as the nation's breadbasket, the parish became an inland sea as floodwaters poured in from every direction. Fields of bananas, yams, and sugarcane vanished beneath thick groundwater, while irrigation systems, silos, and rural roads collapsed. Farmers watched helplessly as decades of work disappeared overnight. Consequently, the food supply chain broke down, isolating farmers and meanwhile, capital St.Kingston faced its own catastrophe. When the outer bands of Melissa reached the city, the power grid failed almost instantly. Entire neighborhoods plunged into darkness, high-rise buildings swayed, and debris flew through the air like shrapnel. Hospitals fought to remain operational on failing generators. At the Savannah Lamar Public General Hospital, the roof was ripped away, forcing doctors and nurses to move patients through flooded corridors under plastic sheets. Across Kingston, fallen trees and live wires blocked roads, while landslides buried entire sections of hillside suburbs. By dawn, Jamaica was a silent island, blanketed in humidity and despair. Over 500,000 people were left without electricity, communication towers were destroyed, and rescue operations struggled against collapsing terrain. In St. Elizabeth, emergency teams used small boats to reach survivors stranded on rooftops, while in Kingston, volunteers waded through waist-deep water to deliver food and medicine. Helicopters dropped supplies to isolated villages, but the scale of the damage made coordination nearly impossible. As waters receded slightly, new dangers emerged. Flooded areas concealed sinkholes and shock debris, while crocodiles displaced from wetlands began appearing in residential zones. Contaminated water mixed with sewage and dead animals, increasing the risk of disease. The Ministry of Health urged citizens to avoid contact with floodwaters, yet thousands had no alternative. Hospitals, already damaged, faced overcrowding and dwindling medicine. Consequently, health authorities warned of outbreaks of leptospirosis, cholera, and other waterborne illnesses. Economically, the consequences were catastrophic. Agriculture in St. Elizabeth lay in ruins. Millions of dollars worth of produce and livestock were lost, and rural livelihoods vanished. In Kingston, commerce came to a standstill as ports closed and roads became impassable. Tourism, another pillar of Jamaica's economy, suffered a severe shock. Resorts along the southern and western coast were destroyed, airports suspended operations, and thousands of visitors were stranded, awaiting evacuation. As a result, both national income and employment collapsed simultaneously. Beyond statistics, the human toll was immeasurable. Families queued under the scorching post-storm sun for food and clean water, while children cried in crowded shelters. Many residents searched for relatives who had disappeared during the night. Government officials toured the hardest-hit parishes, promising relief, yet progress was slow. Aerial surveys revealed that entire neighborhoods and streets. Elizabeth was submerged, and in Kingston, heaps of debris covered the city's arteries, cars, trees, billboards, and twisted power lines. Amid the ruins, rescue workers persevered. Police officers, soldiers, and volunteers worked side by side, clearing rubble and carrying the injured to safety. Fuel shortages hampered operations, and landslides continued to threaten roads, but determination never faltered. Schools, churches, and community centers became shelters for tens of thousands of displaced citizens. Volunteers walked long distances through water to deliver food and blankets, embodying Jamaica's spirit of unity in crisis. In a national address, the Prime Minister called the event the worst disaster Jamaica has endured in generations. He urged patience and solidarity while appealing for international assistance. Aid quickly arrived from the United States, Cuba, and neighboring islands, including emergency rations, medical kits, and portable generators. However, logistics posed major challenges. Bridges were gone, maps were outdated by the shifting terrain, and many regions remained unreachable for days. As the days passed, the emotional cost deepened. Survivors spoke of sleepless nights haunted by the storm's roar. Counselors and faith leaders provided psychological support, yet the trauma was visible everywhere. Nevertheless, small stories of courage offered hope: a teacher transforming her classroom into a shelter, fishermen rescuing families with makeshift boats, and a nurse delivering a baby by flashlight during the height of the hurricane. Climate scientists soon weighed in, describing Melissa as a symbol of a new era of extreme weather. They explained that warming ocean temperatures and slower atmospheric currents allow storms to intensify rapidly, leaving little time for preparation. Melissa's transformation from a tropical storm to a Category 5 hurricane in less than 48 hours demonstrated how climate change now fuels unprecedented power in the Caribbean. This, experts warned, may become the new normal. Recovery began even as debris still littered the streets. Engineers inspected collapsed bridges and unstable buildings. Emergency crews restored electricity to hospitals first, then to major towns. International donors pledged financial aid, but rebuilding costs soared beyond initial estimates. For farmers, replanting was an act of faith. For urban families, repairing homes meant months of labor and uncertainty. Yet amid exhaustion, there was resilience. Markets reopened, children attended improvised classes under tents, and communities organized to rebuild together. In the following weeks, Jamaica's government developed a long-term reconstruction plan focusing on resilient infrastructure. Stronger building codes, elevated roadways, and decentralized energy systems were prioritized to withstand future storms. Officials emphasized that Melissa had not only destroyed structures, but also exposed weaknesses in preparedness, planning, and coordination. Consequently, disaster education and community training programs became national priorities. International observers view Jamaica's struggle as part of a broader global trend. Although the island contributes minimally to greenhouse gas emissions, it suffers disproportionately from climate-driven disasters. Humanitarian organizations called for fairer funding to help small island nations adapt and rebuild. Without such support, experts cautioned, future storms could undo decades of development within hours. Even as the cleanup continued, Jamaicans refused to surrender. Volunteers cleared debris by hand, churches distributed meals, neighbors rebuilt roofs together. The cooperation between civilians, government, and foreign aid agencies demonstrated a unity born from hardship. Slowly, the lights of Kingston flickered back to life, symbolizing the country's determination to rise from the darkness. As Melissa moved away toward Cuba and the Bahamas, heavy rain lingered, and weakened structures continued to collapse. The risk of landslides and disease persisted, reminding everyone that the disaster was far from over. Nevertheless, the island's resilience shone through every act of compassion and endurance. Ultimately, Hurricane Melissa will be remembered not only for its 295 kilometers per hour winds and the devastation it unleashed on Street Elizabeth in Kingston, but also for the courage of the people who faced it. It tested Jamaica's infrastructure, its government, and its collective spirit. And though the island was scarred, it was not defeated. Today, as sunlight returns to its coasts, the echoes of that terrible night remain a warning to the world. Nature's fury is growing, and preparation is no longer optional. Yet, in the same breath, Melissa has become a testament to human resilience, a reminder that even when the wind tears everything away, hope can still stand firm.
Huwag kayo maingay.